Hello everyone and welcome to Animal Crossing. Now, before we get into the videos themselves, this is effectively an episode 0, an expanded forward, if you like, because there are a few things that I want to touch on before we actually get down to watching the footage. And the first thing I would like to express is that this is going to be a stream archive. That is to say, these are all uploads from live streams that I've been doing over the last couple of days. And there are a couple of reasons why I've chosen to play Animal Crossing primarily on stream rather than do bespoke recordings for YouTube. And that comes down to the type of game that Animal Crossing is. It's not the sort of game that fits neatly into discrete episodes, as with many of my Let's Plays, where there's some sort of narrative running through each episode and through the series as a whole, so you've got a beginning, a middle, and an end, a nice cutting off point. Instead, Animal Crossing seems to be to Let's Plays what a stream of consciousness dialogue is to an edited speech. That is, it is a much more flowing experience without an obvious beginning or an end. And as a result, it seems to fit much better into a streaming format where we have a multiple hour-long play session where we're just doing things as they come rather than trying to rush and hit any key points. This is also going to be a sort of collab Let's Play with Lady Sheelab, but there are some caveats with that with Animal Crossing. Now, to get another big thing out of the way, and this is especially going out to those who are considering getting Animal Crossing and that perhaps are in a household where there would be many people who would want to play. Animal Crossing has a non-typical multiplayer style. This isn't the sort of game where you will have multiple saves, multiple profiles, and several people playing on the same console can have their own unique experience. Animal Crossing, from its very inception, has always been about this sort of bringing people together, so it's especially interesting given the current situation of the world. The tricky part is where multiplayer is involved. There is one island per console, more or less. If you want two separate islands, effectively two save files, then you'd have to have two Switches and two copies of the game to use on them. With our current setup, we are playing in the typical way that you would play multiplayer Animal Crossing with one console. That is, there will be one island, and both Lady Sheelab and I will be residents on that island. It will be possible for us to play at the same time, though we haven't tried that out yet. Instead, we do a sort of hot swapping of the console between streams. When I stream, I start up the game, I play with my character on the island, and my character is kind of player one, and so a lot of the story progress is tied to my character. When it comes time for me to wrap up my stream, Lady Sheelab starts hers about 5 minutes before. I send my viewers over there, and while she's just warming things up, I quickly unplug the Switch and run it upstairs and plug it into her computer, and then she continues with her character on the same island. So there is a lot of collaboration between the two of us. It's just not in real time. It's in a way kind of kind of like Dark Souls. So I'm very hesitant to use any kind of comparison between those two, but it's sort of more of a passive multiplayer. As a direct consequence of this kind of passive multiplayer, Lady Sheelab and I will have very distinct perspectives when it comes to the evolution of our island. Our footage will be quite distinct, but will flow in a chronological order. That is, I will spend a couple of hours working on the island, and then Lady Sheelab will spend a couple of hours working on the island. And so to make it easier for you to follow along with the quote-unquote narrative of our journey, we are going to use playlists on each of our channels, which will link all of the videos. So if you wanted to watch this on my channel, or you wanted to watch it on Lady Sheelab's channel, as long as you're watching through the playlist, then you will see all of the videos in the correct order, and YouTube will manage putting your view in the correct place, linking to the correct channel for the sake of that episode, and then carrying on. Even if the next episode is on a different channel, it'll just flow through and play that episode without you having to worry about pressing buttons or jumping over to different channels. That will all be handled behind the scenes for you. So it should be a very, very easy experience for you to follow along with. And that brings us around to one of the final points that I'd like to make in this, episode 0. Don't worry, the finish line is in sight. And as it happens, that is going to be the next point that we're covering. Specifically, how often are we going to be uploading this content and how long for? Well, those of you who are familiar with Animal Crossing will know that it's quite an open-ended game in its very nature. It doesn't really have an endpoint. It is an experience more than a game. It doesn't really have a goal. You make your own fun, you grow your village, and you can spend as long doing that as you like. And sometimes things will take a very long time, specifically because the game ties into real time. And before anyone asks, no, there will be absolutely no time travel shenanigans in this playthrough. Neither Lady Sheelab nor I want to get on the bad side of Rossetti. But as with any open-ended game, especially a long-running game like Animal Crossing, without a defined endpoint, or rather in the absence of one, we'll keep uploading these VODs for as long as there is interest in watching them, for as long as there is engagement with the videos. Lady Sheelab and I will probably be streaming Animal Crossing for quite some time to come. It's one of those games, so the only real change is in whether or not we upload these VODs to YouTube. So if you do enjoy watching them, then please let us know down in the comments or with a like on the video. And with that, we've come to the end of this episode 0. Thank you so much for your patience with me. I know these kind of preambles are not the most engaging content, but I wholeheartedly hope that you enjoy the series that is to follow. So with that all said and done, and as always, do take care.